guys, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Hi, my name is Sydney. I film cruelty-free beauty videos. Today's video is going to be an update in my Pan and Every palette-ish series. If you guys didn't catch my first video, I will link it down below, but basically the premise of this series is that I'm going to focus on 2 different shadows every single month, a matte and a shimmer shade, and the goal is to hit pan on those shadows within that month. I was toying with the idea of extending the shadow rotation to longer than a month if I hadn't hit pan, but once a month rolls around, that's about the time that I'm like, okay, I want to use something else. I'm bored of these shadows. So you guys, I was actually not sure that I was even going to continue on with this series. The first week of this little challenge, this month-long challenge, I was like going at it super hard. I was using the shadow every single day. Then embarrassingly enough, I lost the eyeshadow palette for about a week. It was buried under a stack of mail in my apartment, which is super embarrassing to admit. But ultimately, I have decided to continue on with this series. I have so much eyeshadow and I feel like this is a good way to get some use out of it. I'm not sure if this is going to be like an every single month thing. If I feel like after 2 months in a row, I'm just like, okay, I need a break, I might do 2 months on, 2 months off, or like 2 months on, 1 month off, just to kind of switch things up and keep things fresh for me, because eyeshadow is my favorite part of my collection. I have a lot of eyeshadow and I don't want to neglect parts of my collection by doing a project like this. So I feel like I've rambled on so much. Let's check in on the shadows that I picked last month. So the first shadow that I picked was from the Give It To Me Straight palette, and it is the shade Downright, which is this beautiful kind of mauvey, warm, pinky brown shade. I adore this shade so much, you guys. I thought it was perfect, but I want to do something a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer, no matter what I was wearing. It was just a wonderful shade to work with. So as you guys can probably tell, unfortunately, I didn't hit pan. But I have a pretty good dip going in this pan, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. Again, I toyed with the idea of keeping this in for just a little bit longer because I do really love this shade and I would love to keep using it and get more use out of it, but I feel like I need to move on and focus on something else in my collection. Pan is the optimal goal, but usage is the ultimate goal of this project. So I was happy to get some use out of this one. And then the other shadow that I chose was my Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Weenie, and this is the one that I hit pan on, you guys. I was so excited. I had no idea that I was gonna hit pan. I mean, I could kind of see like the rings in the pan, so I was like, well, maybe I'm gonna hit pan, maybe not. And I hit it yesterday, and it's not a very big pan, but it's a little big pan there, and I'm so excited. I have never hit pan on a Super Shock shadow before. I feel like what really did it was when I started using a brush, because for a little while I was using my finger and then I was like, this is taking too long and it's too messy. So then I started using a brush, and I feel like when I started using a brush, that's when I started to see some serious progress, because maybe like with a brush you dig in a little bit more. With your finger you just kind of like smooth it back over. But I feel like pan and a Super Shock shadow is kind of fleeting because they are kind of that creamy jelly texture, so it might be covered up next time I use this shadow, but I'm gonna revel in the mini pan for now. I'm so excited about this little pan. I did track my usage for both of these products, although I don't really know how accurate it is. I feel like there was one point in the month where I was just running around like a crazy woman and I was not worried about tracking my eyeshadow usage. But for the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight palette, I used this shadow a total of 15 times. I feel like saying that number out loud 15 times is like nothing. Like, that's like 2 weeks of me wearing this eyeshadow, but it felt like so much work, you guys. Maybe that's just because I'm so like ADHD with my collection. Like, I want to use everything all at once. And then for the Super Shock shadow, I only used this one 12 times to hit pan, which was really surprising to me. I thought I would have to use it for many more to hit pan, but this is one of my favorite Super Shock shadows, so it's definitely one that's gotten a lot of love in my collection. So enough about last month's picks, let's get into this month's picks for the eyeshadows that I want to start panning. So I think in my intro video I said something along the lines of I'm going to pick a palette and then I'm going to pick a single shadow to go along with it. And while I think that was fun, I don't want to do that again because it was a little bit, I mean, it wasn't like a huge inconvenience, but it was a little bit of a pain when I was traveling or when I was getting ready on the go, especially when the palette had some very similar shades in it. So this month I think I'm just going to stick to a palette. I may switch it up and do a single on a palette once again, but the palette that I chose for this month is the Milani Pure Obsessions palette. This is one that I've had in my collection for year and a half now at this point, and I absolutely adore it, but I definitely don't use it enough. So the shades that I want to target hitting pan on are this shade right here, which is called Totally Fond of You. Oh, It's adorable. It's just a beautiful kind of mid-tone matte shades. I'm afraid that most of the shades that I choose to pan in this little project are going to be pretty boring. Unfortunately, I don't wear colorful shadows like this every single day, so this is what I feel like I can realistically use. And then for the second shade that I want to pan in the palette, I think I want to pan one of these. Do some quick little swatches. These shadows are very, very soft, so I'm also kind of doing this as an experiment to see how long it takes me to really pan these. Alright, there are those three swatched right there. I think I'm going to pan the middle one. It's just kind of a soft, shimmery, coppery shade. I feel like that would go with whatever I'm wearing, whatever else is going on with the rest of my face. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. These videos are always super quick, you guys. I hope that you're excited for this series. If you guys pan eyeshadows, do you have any tips and tricks? Because I know like some people like use them as like a brush. Or not as a brush. I know some people use them like as blush and highlighter, but the shades that I picked, I really can't do that with. And I have other blushes and highlighters and bronzers and all that in my collection that I am trying to pan. So let me know if you guys have any secret tips and tricks. Have you tried panning Milani eyeshadows before? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I do lots of project pan, shop my stash content, so if you enjoy that kind of content, I'd love it if you took a second to subscribe and stick around. But that's gonna wrap it up today. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Ish series. So if you guys haven't heard of this series before, I got the idea of the series because like the ish. Okay, this is not working. I was toiling. Sounds like an evil genius word. Okay, spoiler alert, and I was like, okay, we gotta keep this going. But I don't know, you guys. Why am I being so awkward? Can I just like not film tonight? And unfortunately, I don't wear colorful shadows.